group. He's a young gay man living in Portland, Oregon. You see, he meets Rocky, the twin that died, at a diner. He already met him in the past. The two of them hit it off and they sleep together. But then over the next few days, Rocky is ignoring Dennis's attempts to text him and he basically ghosts him. So Dennis basically stalks Rocky around. He sees him with another man. He follows them in his car. Eventually, he approaches them on the road. He confronts Rocky for rejecting him. Rocky walks towards him on the road and he's suddenly hit by a car and he dies. Then we then find out that after that happened, Dennis stalked and followed Roman from Rocky's funeral to the support group. He lied about having a twin to get close to Roman, and they became friends under false pretenses. Dennis then introduces Roman to his colleague Marcy, his female colleague, at her Halloween party. Roman and Marcy become close. Dennis becomes jealous. He gets very, very toxic. Marcy starts noticing inconsistencies between what Dennis has told her about his family life and what he's been telling Roman. She uncovers the truth that he never had any twin, and she tells Dennis he needs to disclose the lies to Roman. After they share a hotel room after watching a hockey game together, Dennis begins sucking on Roman's toes while massaging his foot. When Roman declines his advances, Dennis admits that he was lying this whole time. Roman angrily punches him repeatedly and leaves. They become socially isolated from each other after they fall out. Sometime later in the future, Dennis and Roman do agree to meet up in a diner and discuss Rocky and their friendship. Then, in the very final scene, the waitress ask if they want something, and at the same time, they ask for a to-go box. When repeatedly throughout the film, it was a thing that they would never say the same thing at the same time, the way Roman and Rocky used to. And that's the end of the film. D, was Twinless good, bad, or mid? I'm so curious about your opinion because I actually am not sure what direction you're going to go with this film.
Twinless was mid. I wasn't really a fan of it. I found it to be quite predictable.
Oh, so you knew
what was going to happen? I knew.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know.
And to be honest with you, anything this movie does, like I feel like Behind Her Eyes, the series, does it in a more interesting way. With hotter people in it as well.
Of all things to compare it with,
Dylan O'Brien's performance was the standout for me though, and I think in a year where Michael B. Jordan is being tipped for awards for his twin performance, I felt like that Dylan O'Brien's depiction was far more convincing. I didn't realize. I knew what was going to happen, and I knew that the brother was going to turn up, but I completely lost him in the second depiction of the gay brother. So yeah. What about you? Was Twinless good, bad, or mid?
Twinless was good, but I see the mid issues you might have with it. But I found it good. For very importantly, I didn't realize that Dennis was lying. I didn't realize how despicable he was. So the twist genuinely shocked me when I realized. I, like you, really enjoyed the Dylan O'Brien performance, but for me, it was his Roman performance that I really liked. I actually didn't really like his Rocky performance very much, but I found his Roman performance actually like beautiful. One of my favorite male performances of the year. I also really, really liked Aileen Franciosi, Marcy. I really liked her performance. I liked her character a lot. And whilst I don't love James Sweeney's Dennis character, and I don't even fully love the performance because it was just so insufferable, I do admire, considering he's the one that wrote and directed the film, how willing he was to allow his character be such a despicable person. And by the second half of the movie, you kind of see just how his latent misogyny, how insidious and evil it actually is. So yeah, overall I enjoyed the film. Let's talk about some of its themes, right? As a person who, there's many reasons that I was always biased to like this film, I think. I'm a person who deeply, 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 deeply was obsessed with having a twin when I was growing up. I wasn't close to my brother growing up, and lots of my best friends were very close to their siblings, and I always really, really wanted a sister. So I used to have all these dreams about having a twin sister that I didn't know and stuff like that. And also my tribe, Yoruba people, we have a very high rate of twinning. So I always used to tell my mom, are you sure you weren't supposed to have twins? Did I maybe absorb my sister? So I could really relate to Dennis, even though I don't think that I go over to the edge of stalking, lying, conniving. despicable fetishization that he does. But
Mm-hmm.
I could kind of get it. That I was like, yeah, no, I know what it feels like to actually really deeply be obsessive about this particular topic.
I didn't hate this movie. I think there are certain elements which are really cool. Like I like some of the cinematography, okay? There were a couple really cool shots in this movie, like I think when they go to a party and the camera like does some really cool tricks with mirrors to expose where Dennis is and he's kind of prying on Roman and watching over him. All of that stuff was really cool. I think what doesn't work for me in this movie is I don't like Roman at all. And not only do I not like him, I don't care about him. And you have to care about him in order for this movie to work for you. And I like, don't get me wrong, the acting, I agree with you, is spectacular. Like, I really appreciate the acting. The character was getting away with far too much for me. And bear in mind, this is a movie that centers on grief, right? Unfortunately, I've been through a lot of grief. I've also lost a sibling. I know what that pain feels like. I should be able to look at this character and relate to him, and I just thought he was disgraceful and despicable. Um, the movie seems to address his violence and his misogyny and his anger as something that, oh, you know, it's because he's grieving, it's because he's grieving. But he's taking his anger out on his mum as well, who's lost her child. So one thing that's really tricky is yes, it's hard for us as siblings to lose your, you know, your someone who you grew up with, but there's an understanding that well, whatever I'm going through, my parent is going through something so much more. And I just there was something about how the way how this movie handles that that really, really didn't work for me. And what made it worse was the way how the character of Marcy, right? They go out of their way to tell us that Marcy's a very intelligent woman and she's so bright and she's a psychologist, right? But she doesn't seem to understand the red flags that's going on with her new partner.
That's because he looks like Dylan O'Brien.
Sorry, listen, if I'm with a man and I see you screaming in your mom's face like that, I'm going to pack up my bag and I'm going to leave.
I understand your criticism. It didn't. Roman worked for me as a character very well, and I understand how if he doesn't work for you as a character, this whole film collapses on itself for you. So I get it, and I can even see how like a few inches to the right and it wouldn't have worked for me, but it
Mm,
happened to. I am quite biased because I very strongly liked Dylan O'Brien. I've liked him
mm,
since he was a child actor on Teen Wolf. So Roman is violent and he is nasty, and I get it, but I don't know what to say. It works. The character still works for me, and Rocky to me was more terrifying of a character. Like I don't know.
really?
I find ghosters to be a very scary concept, and when those brief moments where you see Rocky and Dennis talking about Roman, and you kind of understand that Roman and Rocky have grown apart, and later on you even further understand that the reason it partly because Roman didn't react well to Rocky coming out of the closet. And also Rocky was always a bit more of the like beloved type, clearly, even with their mom, whereas Roman is a bit of a dumb kind
Mm,
of.